Hello guys, and welcome back into my single track mind. So it won't actually take much to get this going now. The one thing that is going to need doing, which I'm not looking forward to because I am dramatically inexperienced in it, and when I say dramatically inexperienced I mean I've never done it, is I've got to wrap these bars. So that's going to be the final job. That could be an adventure. We will see. This is called a Jtek Shiftmate. Hopefully that's focusing on that. The Jtek Shiftmate 9. Confusingly, the Jtek Shiftmate 9 is to help you use road levers with a mountain bike rear mech, and it's letting us run this SRAM NX mech that we've picked up super cheaply, which is a 12-speed mech. That's letting us run it with an 11-speed road shifter and an 11-speed Eagle cassette. Because basically your road shifters have a different cable pull to the mountain bike rear mech, and also we're converting the number of gears that the mech's operating over as well. I mean, the mech is ultimately a dumb piece of equipment anyway, in that it doesn't know how many gears it's running over. But what this has in it is it has a little roller in it. It's going to be very difficult to show you that, but there's a small roller in here. You can see me running it with my finger, and the cable wraps around that, and that adjusts the amount of cable which is pulled by the shifter and actuates the right amount of cable at the rear mech to make the gears work. So this is one of the few slightly expensive bits that we had to buy. I mean, I say slightly expensive. What I mean is, for a piece of aluminium with a wheel on it and a barrel adjuster, it was an expensive piece. Off the top of my head, I think it was about 30 quid. Which isn't a lot of money in the great scheme of things, but for that little doohickey, it seems like quite a lot to me. First things first, we're going to get these shifters mounted on. Like I say, these are 11-speed road shifters. They're SRAM Rivals, double taps. This is the rear, as it doesn't have a shift lever on it. Due to it being a 1x11 specific system, we are going to slide it onto the bar. We will do the positioning later. Here's our other one. As you can see, these are also fitted with SRAM cables that come with, I think they call it a thingamajig. Yes, and I know that's not a word I've made up. That's what SRAM call it. It's a thingamajig. You also get connector-majigs, which I think you get on mountain bike stuff like seat posts, like, you know, reverb droppers and stuff. But this basically is like a quick release system to allow you to have a point at which you can break the hose. Yeah, basically those are already fitted. I've obviously not removed those, that would be silly. Next job is going to be to attach some brake calipers. But what we have over here, and in fact there's already one on the back end of the bike, is we have an adapter, which is a flat mount to post mount adapter. We've taken off this back plate. Missing on this one, as you can see, I've already removed it, and we replaced the back this plate here with our post to flat mount adapter. This mounts this way up, so it's going to be offered this way. This fits into the recess here and adapts it from being post mount post mount frame to a flat mount brake, and that sits in there like so. So as you can see, this is our first time working on the bike since I've upgraded the workshop. Won't do it up too tight because of the fact that we ultimately need to make sure that we have the ability to laterally adjust it, like I say. So we're now going to attach the thingamajig, yes, like I say, that's not my name for it, it's what it's called, to the hose. And that requires a 10 and an 8mm spanner. The barrel here screws down. You can do that finger tight. Then you hold your end of your hose with your 8. Tighten the 10 down towards it. After all, we just slide our little rubber cover up into place. And then we'll see whether our cable length measurement looked about right, which I think it did. Now, I've actually fitted this, don't know whether you can see that, but this has been fitted here with a new olive. interesting design these days. You basically you thread the olive onto a little screw-in piece which goes into the end of the hose, so you don't actually need any tools to fit these. And what happens is as I tighten this into the caliper, this will actually crush into place. And that'll do. Then we push our little grommet over the top, and obviously we're not really adjusting anything yet, but we might as well just snug this up. So these adapters, again, were an AliExpress purchase. They came very, very quickly. I think they came in about 4 days. So yeah, that's going to get squashed down to something about half of its size. And it literally just gets squashed between the body of the caliper and this screw as you tighten it in, or this bolt as you tighten it in. Again, back to the 8mm for this. Just going to tighten that into place, crushy crush. So next up, we are going to fit a gear cable to this bad boy. And what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're in the correct gear so that you can see the hole that the end of the cable feeds into in front of you. And basically that's it located there. You give it a push and it will now appear magically up here somewhere, basically. Here we go, here it comes. There it is, right. So there you go, one gear cable routed through there. Just pull him through until he snugs into place. So there we go. So that's the outer on, and that's going to sit into this recess just here. So you can see that the cable disappears into the plastic housing. We push that into place, and that is that. It internally routes down through the frame. Find the hole, there we go. Just feed that down into the frame. So now I'm using my lovely Park Tool Special here. You can see there's a magnet, which you find the end of your cable with. Because obviously aluminium frame, so it doesn't stick to the aluminium. There we go, I can feel the end of the cable there. There we go. This is why this thing is my favouriteest tool. I know that's a bit sad, but yes, this thing is part of a kit that lets you route cables through frames. But there we go, there's the end of our cable. Now, what we need to work on next is our peculiar little Jtek Shiftmate 9. Now I'm going to try and bring this closer to the camera so that you can see it. So this is what it is. There you go, you can see it now. So it's literally a little L-shaped piece which sits into the mech. It has a barrel adjuster on it, so that you can obviously adjust cable tension here, and it has a roller in it which, if you look carefully, if we can get the camera to see that, actually has 2 slots in it. So that then goes back through, and okay, this is complicating things a little bit, which isn't ideal. I'd rather not complicate things, but it's a good workaround. So basically there's a flat spot, which is probably hard to make out on camera, but there's a flat spot in this. So the cable comes in via the outer, it loops around, you then pull that taut. It's supposed to keep the flat spot at the top. And obviously, being a SRAM mech, the cable routing itself is a little complicated. As much as I love SRAM's functionality, this is a torture device which medieval jails would have been proud of. So there you go, there's the mech. We've got the cable running into it. It does create an alarming curve in the cable here, so I'm hoping it's not too much. There's not really any way to avoid that, because obviously you can't do much about where this braze-on is. Like I said, I could have run it the other way up and it would have sat more neatly with a straight entry, but the problem was it then sat against the body of the rear derailleur, so that didn't seem ideal to me. Right, let's just have a quick play at the shifter and see whether we actually have some shifting anyway. It feels to me like we've actually got a bit of slack in here, which isn't surprising. So we can actually use the barrel adjuster on the Shiftmate to change the cable tension. So that is a handy feature. It doesn't feel like the cable's horribly stiff. Well, there we go. Needs a bit of finesse, but that is now basically working. So yay. Who'd have thunk it? But yes, so this does work. It's a bit ugly, but it's obviously a good solution to a tricky problem. But there you go. We are now achieving the full range of gears, nice and smoothly and quietly, I'm happy to say. So that will do the job. No, it didn't hurt, it's fine. So all we need to do now is we need to get a little cable end crimped onto this. We'll just shorten that a little bit, it's a bit flappy. What we need to do is we need to get our front end of things aligned properly before we start wrapping anything. So we need to get our brake and shift levers in the right position. Now, we're not going to do that in the work stand, because doing it in the work stand, obviously everything's tilting downwards, so we can't actually be realistically sure that we're getting everything as we want it to be. So yes, I am deliberately cutting my head off here, but we now have our bike on the level. So what we're obviously wanting to do, I've already made sure that the bar seems to be roughly level. So I've aimed for the sort of the top of the flats to be fairly parallel with the ground. So let's get the 5mm Allen key into here. Loosen this bad boy off a little bit so that we can move it. As you can see, we can now adjust our angle. Now, like I say, what we want is we want a nice transition between the drop of the bar, or the flat of the bar, and the flat of the shifter. Not the easiest thing to judge. So I'm going to come down next to it and look at it. And I would say somewhere around there. Right, so this spangly new tool is this purple beast at the back there. And what it's going to do is we're going to be able to put it on the top of the bar, and it's going to show us how level things are. But it's a damn fine tool. It's very exciting if you're a Nork like me. Right, there we go. So this is our ZTTO derailleur hanger alignment tool. Let's just get this in focus. There you go, derailleur hanger alignment gauge. But it comes with this optional extra of this little screw bit here. So that screws in here. Ta-da. Watching a man screwing. And that then screws into here. Like so. And this is why we don't need to be on the floor anymore, is because this actually is then going to take a measurement off of the top of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use you've got the top of the reservoir in here. I'm sitting that into the reservoir cap, if I keep this in focus, to make sure it's aligned. But if I swing this across to the other side, as you will see, it's nowhere near. So as you can see, that one needs to come up very significantly in comparison. So we'll get our 5mm in there, and we can then use this as our reference. I think we're now matchy-matchy. So I'm going to fasten this up like so. There we go. And it looks like we've now got things in alignment, because we can see that that hits the center of the bolt that side and hits the center of the bolt that side. So that means that that is the same height on both sides, and theoretically, because we're using the center of this bolt, it should be the same angle as well. Bonza, what a lovely tool, and also how purple and magnificently purple. What a do love a bit of purple, don't you love a bit of purple? Oh. So yeah, right. So anyway, after my getting excited about my large purple shaft, stop it. I just mean, literally, it's an aluminium shaft, isn't it? Oh, God, you people, can't take you anywhere. Reattach onto there for next time we need it, which will be for Project 50. Because Project 50 will also have drop bars on it. Which may alarm some people as I mention that, because some of you will have seen that Project 50 is actually based on a retro mountain bike. It's not going to be retro by the time I'm finished with it, I'll tell you that much. Here you go. Isopropyl alcohol. That is basically the same sort of stuff as they clean things with in hospitals. So we're going to spray a bit of isopropyl on there. Now, isopropyl is great at cleaning things because it leaves no residue, and it's very, very good at getting ground in dirt off, and polish and lube and all sorts of things come off nicely with isopropyl. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our fibre tape here that comes with the Redshift grips, and that fibre tape, basically we're just going to use it to snug things into place a little bit. So I think we'll go for in the corner just here. I'll do a third one as well, just for a bit of extra reassurance. And like I say, that is just going to keep the cables and hoses out of the way whilst we get on with fixing the grips to the bars. I'm going to do the other side as well. I may speed this up because this might not be the most interesting thing you've ever watched. So as you can see, we've got our bars prepped now. We're going to basically fit the top grips first. Now the top grips are these rubber pieces which sit obviously on top of the bars. Now the way that they've described this in the bump is that basically what you should be aiming to do is that when you fit it, the outermost cut in this grip should sit about halfway around the curve of the flat part of the handlebar as it curves towards the lever. So you should then align this marking line here roughly with the middle of the bar, and that should then give you the right sort of angle, sort of shape. You've also got these cut marks here, which if you've got a narrower bar, you can cut the width of the grip to suit your bar width. If needs be, apparently what you can do is you can actually cut these sections out and use this end section. You can then reattach this end section next to where you've cut it down to give you a smoother transition. These are Redshift's adhesive stickers for getting our bar positioned. It's very, very grippy stuff. From what I can make out, it really doesn't matter if you're not super accurate with how you stick this on the inside, because obviously it's all going to get crushed onto the bar eventually anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer this up to the bar, and over here on my vise I've got a few little pieces of tape ready to go, which we're going to use to mark the position of this when we're happy with it. Pretty good. So we're going to use one piece of tape to mark where the grip was at this end, and then we will use another piece of tape to mark where it was at the front as well. And now here comes the moment of truth. So we're going to peel our backing tape off here carefully. Man peeling tape off some bits of sticky stuff doesn't get more thrill a minute than this, does it? I mean, you don't get this on other channels. There we go. Right, so now we can take our now super sticky grip and we can apply it to the bars. So we're going to use our marking points that we've already got. Going to align to the front of there and to the side over here. That is super sticky. Wow, you don't want to be doing that wrong. So next up we need to tape these onto the bars as well so that these themselves don't shift. I've already cut some lengths of fibre tape just out of shot here, and we're going to use some bits of that. Give ourselves a bit of extra reinforcement. There we go. Grip number one in place. So we also have the bottom grips to fit. Now the bottom grips we're not fitting on just yet because we have to tape first. However, the bottom grips fit on something like so. And they give you obviously a nice palm grip there. But we need to get the wrap done next, ignoring part of the bar, so that there's an overlap, because obviously you don't wrap the bottom grips. You wrap the top grips, but the bottom grips don't get wrapped. They sit out in the fresh air, because obviously you've got a grippy palm surface on these. So basically what you're doing is you're giving it a bit of a mountain bikey sort of feel in the drop. Lots of nice hand positions, shock absorption, all that kind of good stuff. So maximum comfort, hopefully. Okay, so we brought the bike back up in the air a little bit, and according to Redshift's instructions, which I am referring to an actual set of just here, We need to be starting our wrap 95mm in from the end of the bar. So that is because there's going to be a little bit of overlap. I've noticed that when you fit these, this end of the grip is slightly loose in here to accommodate a layer of tape, whereas this end is obviously super tight because that's where the clamp is. Yeah, there we go. That's where we're going to start our tape from. So when we offer the grip up, it's going to come up to, yeah, it's going to cover that tape basically. That's what it's going to do. Comes the fun bit, which I am not looking forward to, which is wrapping the bars. As I've said before, I am not an expert in this. Not even slightly. I think, in fact, you would have to be absolutely off your rocker to think I was an expert at this. Hopefully what we're going to end up with is no gaps and a nice wrap. Here is our tape. Again, we're using our budget Far Eastern tape. I'm sure it'll do the job. If nothing else, it gives me a chance to practice with something. It doesn't matter if it ends up going in the bin later. We're not going to be using the absolutely cruddy end caps that came with this. That's not a real supercars grip end. They are aluminium and polished and lovely, whereas this is a cheap piece of crap that's not even got the sticker's not even stuck to it properly. I'm not even going to use these, they're so bad. Right, let's just prepare ourselves mentally and we will give this a go. I'm not holding out great hopes for myself here. However, we'll see what happens. It could be a laugh, couldn't it? We're going to start from here and we're going to wrap basically inside to outside, because that's the correct direction for your wrist rotation when you're on the drops. So anyway, we're going to pull back a little bit of the adhesive tape covering. We're going to line up here with our tape, piece of tape that we've marked the bars with. We're going to apply tension and we're going to wrap round, avoiding sticking the sticky stuff to the grip tape itself, to the tape itself. Right, so yes, just having a moment of thinking there about how best to go past the lever. Now, what we've got is we've got a covering piece, which we've cut to length. There we go, there's that piece in there. I'm just going to back off slightly, continue. Come up into here. I believe that what I need to do is basically skip straight past that. And go around and over the top. No, I don't like that at all. I'm backing off. Haven't sworn yet, but it isn't proving super easy. Now, I'm going to have a quick look to see whether this covers this or not, because I feel like this is flapping around, which is not what I expected. But as I said before, I am definitely... Do you know what? It's actually going to be all right. I am going to have to trim this side a little bit, but I'll leave that as it is and carry on wrapping. So I think we're going to go for a little angled cut at this point. Stick it back to itself there, and then we've got some tape waiting over here. Follow the end of that. I'm going to use that to cover the slightly ugly bit where it's not trimmed up so well. I've got a bit of a crap looking section over here though, I've just noticed. That's not very good. There's a learning point. Didn't like that curve very much. We're also going to apply a bit of tape to the bottom of the bar here at the drop. says not to go beyond 15 millimeters because it'll be showing otherwise. So I want it to be about there. Okay, well, parts of this are done reasonably well. Other parts of it, less so. Idiot. So basically this then sits onto the bar. And hopefully it will then... Well, there you go. That's one thing I've got right anyway. We are covering up the joints in tape quite nicely here. Don't know if you can see that. I'll bring you all around a little bit here so you can see a bit more what I'm talking about. So we are basically our grip, when it's flush with the end of the bar, it should be at a 45-degree angle when looking at it from behind, approximately, which that roughly is. So we're going to have a purple bar end plug, which for some reason says Morocco on it. I don't know what that is. Sounds like some kind of fruity drink that you would have to give yourself a bit of pep in the morning. But there we go. They were like £1, I believe. Now I have the delight of having to deal with the other side. I'm so looking forward to doing this all again. I really am. We have finished. I will give you a quick tour around it just so you can see exactly what we have going on here. But before I do, I'm just really happy to be able to give this to Claire when she finally gets it. I might film that. But let's just take the bike, give you a little quick tour, and we will explain exactly what's what. So let us start. Again, obviously we've got our core here. We've got our Pinnacle Arcos 1 female specific frame. That is an aluminium frame. We've got a carbon fork. That is obviously fully original, as are the wheels. The wheels are Alex rims on no brandy hubs, which are probably Novatex. Those have been reused, as has the free hub body. We managed to retain that. And the discs, the 160mm discs, are the ones that came on the £80 bargain that we picked up. The other remaining thing that is original, which I think must have been quite recently replaced, is the FSA headset. So those are the original parts. Everything else, every other component on this bike, down to the nuts and bolts, is now brand new. So taking it from the top, we have we've used some ZTTO components to give it some purple bling in places. So we've got a ZTTO Excelsior stem, we've got ZTTO water bottles, we've got ZTTO quick releases. The valve cores, I think, was ZTTO as well. No, they're Buckloose. That famous brand, Buckloose. Hey, who cares? They're purple. They're identical to, from what I can make out, to muck-offs and stuff. So that's our purple parts. We've got lots of ZTTO nuts and bolts and purple as well. Purple things like little cable guide hoops. They're all purple anodized aluminium now as well. We have replaced the entire brake system and drivetrain. So we've got rid of the nasty cable actuated brakes that were basically broken, didn't work, and we've replaced everything with SRAM Rival. So we have SRAM Rival brakes, SRAM Rival shifters, and we also have a SRAM Rival chain set, which is quite a nice looking chain set, to be honest with you. At the back of the bike, things are obviously a little bit more fruity. We are running a 1x11 on this bike. To achieve that, we've got 1x11 Rival shifters running a 12-speed SRAM NX rear mech, which is actuated via a Jtek Shiftmate 9. That basically changes our cable pull to let that 12-speed mech work with our 11-speed cassette. which is a 1250, and that's mated to a, I think it's I want to say it's a 42. There's a 40 tooth chainring at the front there, which is an X-Sync chainring, so we shouldn't get too many drops on there. We're running a box chain. Oh, I forgot the purple ZTTO pedals, which also match the other ZTTO parts on here. We have upgraded the seat post. The seat post has gone from being a no-name aluminium thing, which didn't clamp very well, which is why I replaced it, to a two-seat carbon. On top of the two-seat carbon seat post, we have this lovely Live Contact SLR forward carbon saddle, which has got carbon rails and a carbon base, women's specific. We are also running, in terms of contact points, our fake Redshift grips. Like I say, they're definitely not real. We'll be fitting a set of real ones in the next build. So don't worry, I did go to Redshift and buy those direct myself, but I did want the comparison, and I'm not going to throw them in the bin. Finally, we obviously changed the tyres. We've got a set of Goodyear connectors on here. 700 by 45 Goodyear connector ultimates. Running tubeless with our Panaracer tape in there. And yeah, I mean, basically we've got to the point where this bike is complete. It's ready to be handed over to Claire. She's at the gym at the moment, so we won't be doing that right now. And I think you'd have to agree, this looks pretty great, doesn't it? And we will now quickly tot up what we spent on this. I think I've done this for about 500 quid. And although 500 quid is still quite a lot of money for the spec that this bike has got on it, a 1x11 Eagle-based mullet drivetrain on a gravel bike with nice componentry on it, I think that's a pretty good price. You're not going to go out and buy a bike with this specification on it for 500 quid, that's for sure. Bearing in mind that nearly all of our componentry that we've put on this bike, although it's second-hand, is almost unused. So I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and I can't wait to see Claire getting to ride it. But for the time being, let's just sit back and admire it, and it won't be too long before we move on to the next project, which is Project 50. And there'll be a video about that very, very soon. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting to enjoy the experience of riding bikes with Claire and putting a smile on her face, which vicariously puts a smile on mine. And maybe we'll do a little video of handing it over to Claire. Right, so it's the moment of truth. We're finally going to give Claire her budget bling gravel bike. Aren't we, Claire?
Yes! I cannot bloody wait.
So we've come for a ride. We're going to go for a ride around Chester because Claire's never ridden a drop bar gravel bike before, or a drop bar bike of any kind before. So it's going to be a bit of a learning experience. So this is Claire. Say hello, Claire.
Hi.
Right, okay. This is my bike over here. I was pointing at the bike, not you. Right, so if you go around the back, you can find your special bike that I've been...
The big reveal.
The big reveal, yeah, sort of.
I've been waiting for this. Oh my God! Oh my God, it's the same colour as my hair.
It's almost like that was deliberate, isn't it?
I love it.
And
oh my God, it's amazing.
And you did say you wanted purple things.
And it's purple as well, my other favourite colour, amethyst. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Right, let's go and see what happens.
Let's pray I don't fall off the bugger.
Keep going, I'll catch up.